overlaying the general market macro sentiment within the uranium space, which from my perspective, having been in the industry now for around 20 years, is better than I've ever seen it in my career and better than most have ever seen it in their career. We consider this a generational opportunity within the uranium space right now. And our entry point into the market was timed along with the macro. It was time for a point in time when we feel that there truly is a generational opportunity in the uranium space, timed with what we believe is a period in time where the upward pressure and asymmetry on the spot price of uranium is extremely high relative to a contracting cycle that we're about to enter into. And then the long-term fundamentals are stronger than we've seen, throughout any of our careers. And I think you have to go back to the initial adoption of civil nuclear energy across the Western world and in the United States and Europe to see a demand profile that is as steep as it is right now. So we like it both in the short term with the asymmetry to the upside in the spot price of uranium, and then over the longer term in terms of the need for top tier, large scale assets entering into the supply chain to solve the structural supply deficit that exists within the uranium space. And then you go along the spectrum of assets within the Canadian uranium landscape, and on average, let's say they're trade on an EV per pound ratio of say $6 to $10 in that range, depending on maturity, discount to NAV relative to production timelines, etc. And that's the opportunity for us. And that comes out of a backdrop of, as we mentioned, a uranium backdrop that I think is unarguably the most positive we have seen it, I think, probably since the 1970s, maybe even eclipsing the 1970s. So, yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, no, I reckon you should be excited because it's a lot. There's a lot to be excited about.
And we believe that, despite 2024 being a year where there's a bit of a disconnect between the growing macro sentiment and the underlying equity performance, we feel like ATHA is positioned very well going into this year, particularly where we sit within, a comp table within the capital market structure. As we see more senior names continue to mature, we believe that there is a portion of capital that's going to look down cap and rotate down cap, looking for additional alpha as this commodity cycle continues. And that's been part of our strategy, is be well positioned there to be able to ideally attract some of the investment dollars that are looking for increased torque and increased alpha within their uranium thesis.
Yeah, no, I think this year is going to have an interesting run for many commodities, but I think uranium and copper are probably going. Well, gold it's on its own lane. I think it doesn't care much about. It just cares about chaos and like when everybody's freaking out. But going back to the kind of macro scene and seeing that even if the energy transition is slowing down, as some people think, which I'm not entirely sure that that's the case, but even if that's the case, you have now the AI component that is kind of fitting into this very strange puzzle that is, for the mining sector is going to be a really tough thing to do because, we have a lot of things that need to happen for these projects to come online, and the people buying the computers and the buying more AI systems and then integrating it more into our lives, they just want to plug it in and they don't care about what happens. But yeah, the investment dollars need to come first, and then we can have the things that we want. So
yeah, exactly.
It's going to be an interesting year. I think by the end of the year, we're going to have a better picture of where we're going, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree completely. The macro continues to build steam. Seems like almost on a daily basis, you hear positive news coming out of the nuclear energy space. Starting off, as you mentioned, with the link between that and hyperscalers and AI, going right down to the more boring part of it, if you will, which is large-scale civil nuclear reactors that provide base load power across multiple nations that are now in the process of either prolonging existing reactor fleets, building new ones, or contemplating building new ones. So it's a demand stack that we haven't seen again since the 70s. So we think that it's that this is the very start of what is poised to be a long cycle within the uranium space.